I'm Jeff Frederick with JeffKnowsBoyertown.com. I'm standing at 45 South Reading Avenue, Boyertown, Pennsylvania, right outside Grind Restaurant. This is Boyertown's newest food establishment. I'm going to sit down with the owner, Keith Kopicki. We're going to have a chat. He's going to show us around the restaurant. Let's get started. Hi, I'm here with Keith, owner of the Grind Restaurant in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. I'm here to ask him a few questions. Tell us a little bit about the restaurant.
So we're Grind here in Boyertown. The reason we are called Grind is because of all of our fresh ground, never frozen meats. Our initial plan was to have some more exotic meats blends that would work into our meatballs. Currently we do have beef, chicken, and crab as our meatballs. Crab is essentially crab cakes. And yeah, we're just here to really give, fresh cooked, high quality food and, a good place to come and hang out.
How did you come up with the idea of the meatballs?
So that was between me and my executive chef, Josh Pennington. He's been a huge part of this entire process. But started planning probably a year and a half, 2 years before I even bought the building. I was looking around. So we just threw around ideas until we eventually came upon the point where we're in Boyertown. So it fit well, and it's also delivered for the Italian Mediterranean, which fits our meat and seafood. It makes it for an elegant, a nice dining experience.
Okay. How did you team up with Josh Pennington?
I met him at Red Lobster. He was bartending, and we just became friends and partnering with him just was a kind of a perfect combination. So we really complement each other. Where my strengths, complement his weaknesses, and his strengths complement my weaknesses. So
you have business and restaurant background, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's something I've worked in the industry. I have experience. I've never owned a restaurant before. Josh has more experience than me in terms of he helped set up a bar out in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Kind of the same thing with the menu creation and got involved. So he had a little bit more on the menu side, and especially when it comes to food, his recipes and stuff. That's where his forte is.
Okay. And you talked about fresh food.
Yeah.
Can you expand more on that?
So one of the big things is in this area, Boyertown, Derblitsville, Pottstown, until you go down to Phoenixville or Philadelphia, there's not really many restaurants that offer, good quality, fresh food. We want to give you, a very high quality, fresh meal. Like our scallops, we have U10, 100% completely dry, chemical-free scallops, the best ingredient you can buy when it comes to that. And that's a lot of things we feature. So when it comes to our lamb dishes, our scallops, our seafood, even our fresh ground meats and blends, you can't get better ingredients. So a lot of that comes through the plate.
That's great. Now let's point towards the bourbons here. You have how many? 50?
No, we're up to 80. Yeah, so we originally opened, we had 30 when we first opened, and then it took off right up off the bat. We love the bourbon selections and the bourbon flights. We also spent the last 9 months a year tracking down a lot of harder to find bourbons. So
how do you choose the bourbons?
Well, we know what we're looking for. We have a wish list of kind of what we're looking for. Just some of them in Pennsylvania, since it's state regulated and controlled, it's much harder to find them.
Right.
So we kind of know what's highly rated, what's sought after. Plus, we have a lot of local stuff as well. So we have about 6 local distilleries we work with.
While we're sitting here, can we try out one of those bourbons?
Sure.
Okay.
This rye is actually finished in it's a rum barrel. So it's a rum cask. So it's very unique. People really like it. So this is the Angel's Envy rye. Again, it's finished in a.
It smells sweet.
Yes, it is. Cheers. Cheers.
That's good.
Yeah,
very good.
Very smooth.
Okay, so over 80 bourbons you have now.
We have. I think we're at 80. I believe it's either 79 or 80 bourbons.
80 bourbons, fresh food,
yes.
Meatballs with a twist. Could we call that?
Yeah, we call Grind gourmet meatballs, which a lot of people didn't really catch on to what that meant. What's a gourmet meatball? But they come in, they try our chicken meatballs or our beef meatballs. They go, this is the best meatball we've had, or it's really not what they're used to. It's not just a hunk of meat or a hunk of chicken. There's a lot of flavor, and they're not dry. They're nice and moist. They have all that kind of stuff.
Pretty good. I've had the meatballs and they're delicious. All right, let's rewind time a little bit. You opened in November of 2019, correct?
November was our first 2 or 3 events that were private, nothing open to the public. We opened to the public was in the very beginning, I believe, in December. We came out with 6 items, and we expanded by 1 or 2 items every week or two as we kind of mastered what we had. It takes some time to learn the recipes, to do it correctly, execution.
Right.
We listened to feedback. We've changed many plates. We've changed many things based off the feedback. Just some things major, some things minor.
Right.
Had to get our timing down. So we slowly expanded to the point where our menu was actually a full menu.
Okay. And then you were probably just about to have your grand opening. Am I correct in saying that?
I believe our grand opening was scheduled for the end of March, and then COVID happened. The 16th is when the announcement was.
Right. So my question to you is, at that time, at that moment when everything was shut down, what was your thoughts at that point?
The confusion of not really knowing what's going on, the uncertainty. At first, I remember when we first closed, I thought, 2 or 3 weeks, we'll go back to it. 4 weeks, I thought maybe in 6 weeks. I never expected 3 months. I don't think anyone really did.
Right, sure.
But the impact that I had at first was I put my life into this whole building, in this whole operation, and thinking, okay, what's happening now? And then at the same time, I literally just hired 40 people from other jobs, other places. So I was really worried about, did I just take them away from a career they were at for 9 years, or from somewhere else to bring them in? And I was worried about what was going to happen to them.
Right. So then we did reopen.
Yes.
Slightly. Partially.
Correct.
How did you have to adjust your restaurant, what you were doing, how, with your employees, and so on and so on?
So we had to quickly adjust our menu. We changed over to family style meals. It's something we did, larger quantity of our higher quality stuff. So it's not like you're getting fried chicken fingers or bar food. Nothing wrong with that, but we wanted to give people an alternative option. High quality meatloaf, half-roasted chickens, crab cakes, seafood manicotti, that type of stuff, and you can get it all for a price for a reasonable price, especially for the quality of food, in our opinion.
And since then, with the being able to eat inside the restaurant, larger capacity, what are your thoughts right now?
I don't think any restaurant is doing well, but I do think we are doing well in the situation.
Right.
But we have so many people that come back consistently, weekly, 2-3 times a week, and our reviews have just been kind of propelling us forward. It's all word of mouth still.
That's great. That's
so
important.
I think, yeah.
Now, if you look at the reviews, the one thing I see over and over again is that people appreciate that you come around to the tables and say hello and make sure that everybody is doing fine.
I want to make sure that people enjoy it. I want their honest opinion. Whether it was you or many times where you'd be sitting outside, or a food rep or family or anybody, I said, look, don't just tell me it's good. That's what I want to hear. I want to know, can we do it better? You're always going to miss something. You're always going to, there can always be improvement no matter what you do. So talking to my staff, talking to customers, you learn a little bit here, a little bit there, and you're able to adjust until it gets to the point where it's not necessarily perfect, but it's pretty close. So that's where you have to just, and even what's perfect now, a year from now might be, hey, this doesn't work anymore. And that's what you have to be able to realize that.
That brings us to my next question. Where would you like to see your restaurant, The Grind, Boyertown, in a year from now?
I think the focus for the next year is for us just to build the business to the point where we can get back to, we're on a wait in the sense of that we're, highly desired to come in here. We can see a lot of people, but at the same time, this is also a place people like to hang out. Anniversaries, birthdays, we're starting to book a lot of baby showers and personal dinners. So we want this to be a place where people can come in, have a good meal, enjoy good company, and you just want to be known for, if someone says, hey, I want to go out for a good quality meal or good company or bourbon or whatever, they can think of us.
If you could turn back time from the very start of when you first opened this restaurant, is there anything that you could change if you could turn back time? You could just reverse everything and start over. This is
I
a
wouldn't.
tricky question.
Yeah. I don't know if I would necessarily change anything. I learned a lot of things. I made a lot of mistakes with certain little, minor things, certain contractors, all that type of stuff. But in the end, the results turned out pretty well. At least kind of the way we envisioned it.
Good.
And I mean, maybe change-wise, I would have started smaller maybe because this is such a large building with the apartments and the restaurant. I think at one point, I definitely could have maybe started smaller. I'm not complaining because it turned out great, but
That's good.
it was definitely a lot to take on.
Well, Boyertown and myself are happy that you're here. That's for sure. I know that we talked about feedback on different internet sites, and the other thing I see is that your staff gets a lot of credit too. And I know yourself, you give the staff a lot of credit, via Facebook or whatever social media site that you're on. Definitely give your staff a lot of credit.
Thank you. But the staff that I have here, a lot of them, probably half my staff followed me from previous places that I've worked in the industry, so I was able to pick and choose kind of better fits for this for the restaurant here. One thing that's important for a restaurant is it's not just about the food. If you get a great product, you need to be able to serve it with good service. I have some servers, bartenders, actually just the staff in general here that they enjoy coming to work. They want to be here. All the credit in the world I give to them. I did about 65 to 70 interviews before we even opened, just to get the initial staff, the initial 25 that we opened with. So we really kind of do handpick it. So we don't just pick the first one. Right. Yeah.
Very good. Well, let's learn a little bit about Keith Kopicki. Let me ask you some silly questions.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Probably be bacon wrapped scallops, or I love game. So something like venison. That's venison.
And you serve both of these at your restaurant?
Yeah, well, venison not currently, but we will. We absolutely plan on it. And I'm a huge fan of just seafood in general. I love lobster.
I'm a seafood guy myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I understand that. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I would say nostalgia-wise, would probably be, for my age, was Gladiator when I was younger.
Okay.
Some of the newer
That's a
ones.
great movie.
Yeah, Gladiator. The Martian with Matt Damon lately is pretty good. And one that's a little less well known, which is more of a mind movie, thinking movie, is The Prestige.
I never saw it.
It makes you really think the entire time you're trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Like that.
I'll have to check it out for sure. Music. What kind of music? What maybe your favorite band or two?
I'm not I'm one of those people that listens to whatever's on the radio. I like everything. We have live music here, so I enjoy just the more, I would say the everyday stuff. I'm really into anything that's a little bit more, I guess, upbeat. I like the stuff I don't like any of the sadder stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Favorite pastime? When you're not here, when you get to choose whatever you want to do.
So I'd say traveling is one of them by far. I'm a big hunter. I love hunting. And then
I never knew that about you.
Yeah, I'm a big hunter.
So you're gonna get a deer, bring it into the restaurant?
If it was legal, I would. But it's not.
Do you have a talent that we don't know about besides running a restaurant?
Mario Kart. I have a few.
Top score.
I have a few. Yeah, because I'm pretty good at some of the video games.
Are you? Are you a big gamer?
No, I used to be, not anymore. The employees like to challenge me in Mario Kart. It hasn't turned out so well for them. So, but I can juggle. Back in high school, I was a big juggler. Ride a unicycle and juggle, all that kind of weird.
We might have
stuff.
to see that before we leave, right?
Yeah, and I like my legs are I used to be triple jointed, so all the contortionist type stuff I used to be able to do, and I got some weird talents. I'm a big board gamer. I'm a little bit nerdy, geeky in that way. So just
we're learning a lot about Keith today. Last question: bucket list item.
I really think my bucket list is more kind of just hitting a lot of different destinations around the world and seeing the places in the cuisine and enjoying life.
Perfect, Keith. It was great talking to you. And if we could just get a tour of the restaurant, would that be great?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to Grind. So this here's our main lobby. It's where we feature all of our homemade fresh desserts. So the host will greet you. We do also have future plans for putting in a juice bar. All organic juices. and shakes and stuff. So over here we have actually our homemade store. We make all this stuff, ourselves. The signs, the slate coasters, the whiskey flask. That's stuff that we actually make and sell. We'll have T-shirts and mugs and glasses coming soon for you as well. Over this way, then we come to our main dining area. This is where pretty much all of our dining happens. Our other room is usually for Friday and Saturday overflow, as well as our private events and parties. When you come this way over here is our bar. We have about 110 or 120 different bottles of spirits, 80 of which are bourbon. We're going to walk back through our bakery area, the lobby, and we head over to the famous water wheel that was here when Schaefer's was still here. And this is our private party room where we can have smaller parties. Friday and Saturdays we use this room for overflow seating and private events.